Hello, hello, friends. Nancy, ¿cómo estás? How are
Hola.
you?
Hi, amiga, ¿cómo estás tú? Oh my gosh, como que nos pusimos de acuerdo, huh? We telepathically like saw like what are you wearing? What
I
are you wearing?
I got
we
the memo. I got
you
I
got
got the memo.
you got the memo and I was like, what? That's awesome. It looks great. It looks great. Negro. Well, I did my it's a light like purple color.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It
Yeah,
looks
I
good
like
on
it.
you.
I like it. Well, see, I went with a little bit of the color of my shirt. I thought, oh, this
Oh, and the color of the background too. That's
me. Okay,
awesome. I
yeah.
love it. Bien coordinada tú. It looks great.
I
So
know.
welcome
Well, I
everyone.
yes. First of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for doing this. I'm excited to, be doing a collaboration together. And everyone that is watching right now, stay to the end because we have a lot of fun stuff coming up that we're just gonna share with all of you, so you can come and join us. But we're gonna go ahead and dive in because it is the evening and we want to honor your time. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing our presentation to the stream. And
Awesome.
we are here because we are going to talk about how to be the ultimate version of yourself. I'm excited about this topic, amiga. What about you?
I am too. And you know what's the beautiful thing about this is that every single time we talk about this topic or I present it, for me, it just reminds me of, hey, I'm not doing enough of that to just show up more powerful, So this is going to be really great for even me to just go over some of the things we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think you made a really good point of just getting lost in that moment, and it's a really good reminder of just showing up powerfully wherever you're at. And so I'm excited to dive into this. And so before we get started, amiga, remind me, did you want to be off the screen or did you want to stay?
I can stay if you want
Okay.
to.
All right. All right. So our chat is activated. So friends that are joining us, please drop us a comment at any point. You can drop us a question and we'll share it on the screen. So this is really kind of like informal, formal, but we're just wanting to have this amazing, powerful conversation for the next 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's, the middle of technology, and we'll just roll with it.
Awesome.
So, and then again, I'm multitasking. So let's see how good I can do this. All
You're
right.
amazing at this. You will do great.
Thank you. So I want to formally introduce Nancy Salmeron. She is a life coach, author, inspirational speaker. She has a master's degree in education, which we actually share that, with an emphasis on character development. Her background is having an administrative credential. She has a bachelor's in liberal studies, concentration on sociology, and then also bilingual Spanish and in English. That's a fun fact. So Nancy, officially, I am thanking you for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
And then, of course, me. I have over a decade in education. And then also, I have to really put out there my expertise in the beauty industry. I am a fellow of the Hope Leadership Institute. I am a fellow of the Emerging Leaders program that was funded by Estee Lauder. And I am a fellow of Leadership Modesto. And then my two coolest awards out of the list that I have is I was 2020 500 Global Influencer. So that was pretty cool. And
How
then
awesome.
my most favorite award, thank you, is 2019 Latina of Influence by Hispanic Lifestyle. So friends, thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting. And that is a little bit about us if you don't know who we are. And then let's dive into our topic. So the goals for our time together are understanding what it means to be your ultimate best. And then also we're going to define what the best version of yourself is. And we will share some tips to becoming the best version of yourself. So have you ever wondered why some women are full of confidence? have you asked what they have that you don't? So please, this is just, we want some dialogue, some conversation. If you are watching the replay, just drop your answers in the comment section, and then we will go back and take a look at them. So Nancy, have you ever wondered why some women are full of confidence?
I did. I mean, some women can walk into a room and they own the room. And what's beautiful about them is that it's not about arrogance. It's not about thinking they're better than anyone. It's about being very comfortable within themselves. And I admire, I empower women. And those are the women that for me are just beautiful to see because they inspire you to be the ultimate best version of yourself.
Oh, most definitely. I could think of so many opportunities where I've been in a room full of amazing women, and I left really inspired to really step into that space of just being the most powerful version of myself. And but I could remember thinking like, wow, they are so full of confidence, and I was far from that. So one year I was at this luncheon in Dallas, and I remember sitting by someone that I followed on social media, and I asked her, I said, what would be your best tip in helping with confidence, especially when you go to a networking event and you don't know anyone? And literally what she said, I have followed to this day of, if just either whether it be a handbag that you love or some, amazing staple earrings, a staple necklace, or, a hat, that just focus on one item and have that be the thing that kind of stands out, and it will never fail. Someone will come up to you and give you a compliment.
Oh, yes. That's a great tip. That's a great tip. I love it.
Most right. And so I kind of stepped into that space and said, okay, I'm going to find my staple item. So or accessory, for the longest time, I would wear these chunky necklaces and let that thing kind of speak for itself. And it never failed. I'd always get someone coming up to me and say, oh, Dominica, that is so cute. Or, hey, we haven't met, but your necklace, it just drew me, and I have to ask you, like, where did you get it? It just never failed. And so,
and that speaks to the power of just when you notice something beautiful on someone to bring it up and say it, right?
mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the things, I have red hair. It's mine because I pay for it, right? It's mine.
It is yours.
It's mine because I pay for it. And it's so funny because that's like my trademark, and people always compliment on they're always telling me something about my hair. And it just makes you feel really great. And that's, we're starting small with just a simple compliment, but that's how women should be empowering each other, by noticing other women. Good point. I love it. I love it.
No, most definitely. So it's been by far the best tip that I've used to really build that confidence when I felt I didn't have it. So what does it mean to be the best version of yourself? So for me, it took me a long time to understand what that meant. I feel like it's a definition that is different for everyone. And for me, it meant to finally find or step into a place that was truly authentic, where I felt good, and I, didn't have that fear, and I was able to step out of my comfort zone. So I started with the same thought of having a staple item that would give me that confidence. And so actually, this is probably the first time I'm revealing this. So I started with a signature nail polish. And I went to the store and I looked at all the colors and I said, what would the future Domenica, the one that is where I want to be at and be, what would she be wearing? And I picked that color, and for an entire year, I would wear that color and just step into that space. And it would be my reminder of being my best version. Like she's already there because she has the nail polish on.
Awesome. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
so cool.
right. Ever since then, every year, if you now all of you that know this are going to be noticing my nail polish.
We're going to be looking at your nails before we speak.
Right? Like, Dominica, let me see your nail polish.
That's your nail polish.
Yeah, so every year I pick a signature color. So you can ask me, hey, Dominica, I haven't seen you in a while. What is that signature nail polish? What's the color this year? So I do that on purpose. Every year I pick a signature nail polish, and that is the color that future Dominica would be wearing. So to me, that is what it means to be the best version of myself and just stepping into that space, especially when I have those moments where I don't believe it or somebody's testing me on it. And what I mean by that is that if I'm caught in a situation, and mind you, this is a whole TED talk where I could really jump into this one specific theory. So if I have a conflict with someone and it's just not going well, and what I mean by that, if it's kind of like the crime is being done to me, a way that I don't step into that energy and let it like really bring me down is because I'll go back to that signature nail polish and I'll remember, you know, who that best version of myself is. And that has been another tip that really has helped me step into that space. And so I'm just going to take a moment to thank all of you that are watching, and we are just diving into the conversation of just how to step into your best version of yourself. And we are discussing what does it mean to be the best version of yourself. So I'm giving some nice gems. And definitely, if you can't, take some notes right now, we will be giving the replay out so you can come back and watch it. But yeah, amiga, so that was something that came from a book that I read, Playing Big with Your Life. And the author, which right now I can't think of, had said also kind of with the same lines of picking, a staple item to get compliments. And she said, close your eyes and imagine your future self that is confident, brilliant, where you believe wholeheartedly that you're her, and pick something that you visualize in that moment and use that to walk into that space. And so in that going through that exercise, I identified nail polish as the thing.
And isn't that one of your focus in your business now?
It is.
Wow. Full circle.
Right? Full circle.
Well,
yeah. And it's funny because I hadn't said it out loud.
You know what's beautiful about everything that you just said? As a life coach, I mean, I speak about life, and I notice I'm really good about noticing full circle moments.
Yeah.
And there are no accidents to how we get to do or be in if we're paying attention, right? And for you, this is beautiful because look how everything is connected to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And in a way, I speak a lot about being connected to that inner voice that knows, which is your true self, your soul. That's where the real confidence is too, when you remember who you truly are. And I think that was the whisper of where you were going and what you were be doing. And this is beautiful because I just got chills just thinking about it. Interesting. Wow, Dominica. Is it? I mean, you can totally expand on that and just how it's full circle for you.
Right.
So,
oh yeah. And amiga, like I said, this is a could be like a separate, whatever, call it, workshop, seminar, TED talk. But that's one thing that I have loved about you and I appreciate about you is that you notice and you pick up and you're able to see, those common threads. And, I love that you're always able to connect the dots for me. And you're absolutely right. It is a full circle moment that it took me a lot of mindset, a lot of just working on myself to get there. And it was kind of like it was there all along, but I just couldn't see it, right?
Right. And that's the process. That's the journey of truly, really becoming who you're supposed to be and being immersed in confidence. So go ahead and talk about the next slide.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So it really is a nice segue to what does be your best self mean? And so I feel like the definition really is subjective. It is what you feel like be your best self means to you. You know, the your version of your best self may not be the same, you know, for your friends, your close friends, your family. It's probably going to be different, right? So consider this. Do not give in to the temptation of comparing yourself with others, because I feel like that is a skill set that is not automatically, you know, given. I really feel that it comes with professional experience, personal experience, life experience, and really remembering what that truly means to you. And I know that my definition of being my best looks different, you know, than probably you, friends. And I know that, you know, my family just has myself. I have a history of depression, and so I have to know my body. I have to know when I'm in a good mood, when I'm not. I'm kind of like spiraling into a black hole, and really identify what are those things that bring me to be my best self. And so, like through the pandemic, for example, I often talk about using candles in the morning, even though it's daylight, it's not nighttime, but just the moment of peace that it gives me to be able to light it and force myself to be in that moment of just experiencing joy and turning on this candle and then enjoying the aroma. And then
Mhm.
it kind of forces me for to step into a moment of like just self-reflection. And it's my quiet time, and it's the time that I spend, you know, just reflecting and setting
Mhm.
intentions of how I want my best day to go. And
Right.
that is something that has helped me really step into my best self. And I have evolved, right? So I often say if you met me 3 months ago, if you met me 5 years ago, if you met me 10 years ago, I am not that version. Like I have really dove in and stepped into a place of utterly just letting go of the onion layers, you know, of myself, and really breaking those habitual patterns of beliefs that I felt were really holding me back to step in, they were really holding me back. They wouldn't allow me to step into my best version of myself, right? And so it's taking a lot of trial and error, but most importantly, giving myself opportunity to surround myself in a space that I know I'm going to be elevated, and create a circle that really do become my champions. And so,
Mm.
and I see that because I came across a Brene Brown video with Oprah, and they
Mhm.
were talking, and Brene asked Oprah a question, and I can't even recall what it was, but she basically said, "You have two types of people in your circle: the people that clap for you, and then the people that become your champions." And I thought, and you can see her be like, "It's Oprah, right?"
That was an aha moment for her.
Yeah, yeah, but then
Yeah.
it was an equally aha moment for me, because
Mhm.
I realized she's absolutely right, and I think that is okay to have both types of those people in your circle, right? And
Right.
I know that life happens, we get busy, and it's not to take, you know, nothing personal. Somebody doesn't clap for you. It's not about that. It's just about identifying, you know, who are the people that are cheering you on, and they're just clapping, cheering you on. But the people that can step into a room and say, I know what Domenica is about, and I heard an opportunity that she would be perfect for. And I say, here are her contact details, or can I have your contact deals, and I'll send her to you. That is the champion. That is the difference, right?
I agree. I think your champions are those people that have seen your true struggle and that they know too what you've gone through. Because in developing a tribe, you have to be very mindful of really who is part of that. And it's not about this huge tribe. It's
Yeah.
about, you're going to have your true champions and your cheerleaders, right? Those people that are just going to be bravo, and the ones that are really going to hold you when you're down, and that you feel like you can become vulnerable with them. And that's the beauty of understanding the difference, right? And there's nothing wrong with having a lot of people know you and appreciate your work, and but you know those true champions, you really do. And it's the ones that have seen you struggle too, and they know your pain.
Right.
And I mean, for me, my circle is small, but I believe that they have the best intentions always for me, and that helps me just understand that, okay, it's okay. I can put my guard down for right now, and someone's got my back, and that's a beautiful thing. So I just loved everything that you had to say, and I think you're definitely on this path of just totally unbecoming to become.
Wow. Oh, I love how you did that.
Unbecoming to become. So
Yes.
so so here's, this is my spiel, right?
Mhm.
So how do I become the best version of myself? So in talking to Dominica, we were like trying to figure out how we can put some tips in this presentation that you can start implementing right now. And sometimes when I do a lot of these presentations, and I always remind people, hey, sometimes I may have 10, but if you just implement one or two, that's just start with one a week, or stuff like that. That's really going to help you. So let's go with tip number one. How do we become the best versions of ourselves? So the importance of visualizing your future self. Dominica was talking about the nail polish. You see how everything's perfect, Dominica? You totally this is like, I mean, full circle here. Dominica was talking about her nail polish, and that how that totally connects her to the woman she is becoming, right? The woman that that's the future self. I always say visualize yourself as who you want to be, but appreciate who you are. Let me say
Ooh.
that again. Visualize yourself as who you want to be, but appreciate, and I'm going to add this one, love who you are, because it just becomes harder when you just look at all your flaws. There's a lot of beautiful things. You have to notice them. You have to notice the great things that you're doing. Yes, we're all work in progress, but what is it that you're doing beautifully that you're like, hey, I do this pretty well? And this is where I want to go. But it's about really showing gratitude for who you are right now. Next slide.
I love that. I love that.
Offer yourself unconditional love. And when I say unconditional love, this is such a cliche because we talk about self-love. We talk about, how self-care and all this stuff. What does unconditional love mean? It means that you are able to take time for yourself, right? It's important that you take time for yourself. And I say this, unless you can totally love yourself in a way where you wouldn't dare speak to you badly. Say some of us have children or people that we love. Would you speak horrible words to someone that you truly loved? Unconditional love is about noticing that you may have to improve in certain areas, but again, going back to loving yourself unconditionally, looking at what, even if we're going to start very superficially, right? What is it that you love about your face? What is it that you're saying, I have beautiful eyes, right? Hey, I might want a smaller nose or whatever, but my eyes are beautiful. That's unconditional. As a mother, I tell you, I think my children are perfect, and that's unconditional. I don't see any defects, but we're so conditional with our love that we give to ourselves that we need to remember to love ourselves as the other people in our family, children, brothers, sisters, that we love our parents, you know.
Right.
Next. Yeah.
Oh wait, I lost my I lost my slides. Here we go. All right.
So the third tip is really to ensure your goals match your purpose. To feel really empowered, you have to identify your goals. What are your goals? What are your desires? What is something that you've said, this is something I really want to do? And your goals, when I talk about the big picture, I always say that your purpose is really the reason why you exist, is the reason why you were born. And we all have these special gifts, these special talents that we have to share with the world. That's the contract. That's the human contract we've made with whoever your source is, whoever you pray to. What is the contract you had? So for me, it's really about empowering, reminding you that you're amazing the way you are, that you need to remember why you're here. I speak a lot about purpose, and your goals have to match that. What is it that you want to do? Now, after you've identified your passion, your purpose, what are you pursuing? How are you going about just little things that you do every morning to meet those goals, right? And this is another topic for, I mean, seriously, anyone who is pursuing a business or pursuing a life change. You really need to start focusing on how those little goals, whatever you're doing, is really matching to that ultimate goal, right? And once you do that, that will definitely build your confidence. I mean, I think for me, when I talk about becoming, it's really unbecoming everything that I went through in establishing goals to be, honestly, I want to be a great coach. And I have different things that I do every morning just to prepare me to be a great coach. I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of um, motivational, inspirational talks that I watch and I listen and I learn, and that is helping me get to my ultimate goal of being a, I'm just gonna say it, a freaking amazing speaker, a life coach, and an author.
No,
I mean,
own it. Own it. Yes.
and see, and this is the thing, that we grow up being modest, and if we're Latinas, you know, I don't know, Dominica, did you ever hear about, hey, no seas presumida, don't be such a show off,
Oh
you
yes.
know? You grow up with that, right? You gotta stay low, you gotta stay humble. And we don't want to become arrogant. We just want to be confident, right? So yeah.
No, most definitely.
Mhm. So in tackling your goals, the importance of every day, what is it that you work for? Like, Dominica, give me an example of one goal that you have right now, and let's share with these ladies that are on, what is it that you're doing to make sure that you're meeting your goals.
Well, I I'm laughing because I can't. I'm like, which one do I pick? So I have a book that I found a couple of years ago. I don't even remember where I found it, and it's a book of 100 goals. And I just started putting one goal by one goal, and it's I'm mentioning this because it's a tool that has helped me to ensure that I get to my end result, my ultimate goal, right? And some of them are very achievable. You know, they all have dates, they all have deadlines, but then there's space to put my action steps to get to the goal. And so you know, I haven't filled up the book. You know, it's a book that has 100 goals, and I've been working on it for a while now, right? And I still haven't gotten to that main you know, just to fill it up.
Mhm.
So one of my goals actually kind of happened unintentionally, and I decided that I'm going to do this finally. And so I am newly retired from corporate America, and
Yeah.
I am in the process of filing for my LLC. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like the minute I decided that I was going to do it, like 30 billion doors just blew wide open. And that
Mm.
is something for a different seminar, friends. Okay. We will not get
Yeah, how the universe conspires in your favor. That is
but
one of my favorite topics. It's
yes,
so true, amiga. Go for it. And then,
yes. And it was all thanks to something that I did, but it was like a domino effect. And literally it would have to be an intentional conversation to explain how it happened. And and so fast forward, you know, once the decision was made, you know, all these doors will open. So the goal was to retire from corporate America. And I had this long-term plan, and it wasn't supposed to happen when it did, but it did. But because I had these action steps, I knew that I was going to be okay, because along my entrepreneur journey that really started 10 years, I don't know, no, 13 years ago. Um, you know, I did not wake up and say, I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to be my own boss, you know, or the era of girl boss. You know, I didn't say I wanted to be that. If you know me for that long, you probably say, Dominica, own it. You use that term a lot, and I did, but it's an evolution, right? It's a process. It's been a journey. And the most critical thing that I can say what has helped me is that I already had this goal way before I decided to actually do it. And I was following a plan. And so when it happened, I was ready to step into that space. And so without getting into much details on where I'm headed, the matter of the fact is that in tackling my goals, it is imperative, and it really has helped me step into a more confident, better version of myself. I would say definitely stepping into that future concept of Dominica, who has always been here. It just took me a while to get there. That writing them down and having actionable steps to get to them is just basic 101 of goals.
I love it. I'm very goal oriented. And for me, being able to, for example, uh, one of my goals is to finish my second book
Yes.
by hopefully January. And so, in order for that to happen, I have to schedule my writing. I have to make sure that I decide, is it going to be normally my writing, honestly, Mondays I don't book any appointments, nothing, no calls. That's my day where I just work on my writing. And what has helped is I know the purpose of getting that book out by next year. That's the purpose that I'm focusing on, and setting that time and being very I don't like to be so rigid, but at the same time, it's within my personality. And sometimes I don't recommend this. Being also flexible, because things happen, right? You have a family, you get sick and stuff like that, and you need to be forgiving, because that's part of confidence. Being able to say, I know I'm going to get through this. I know what I need to do. And you were just talking about the universe and how everything's lining up for you with your LLC. Honestly, when you identify and really plot that goal, and I've always believed that I get shit done. I mean, I just get it done. I just need to know. And so the thing is that you have to also be okay with being flexible when things come up, and be forgiving, and then you get back right on it. And that's the biggest thing when I'm coaching people, is that sometimes they get burnt out because stuff happens. And I remember at the beginning, it was horrible. I didn't know how to let things kind of flow too. I know I'm going to get this book done by December. I mean, okay, maybe January. But being flexible, right? Being flexible, because I'm just thinking about the holidays, amiga. I'm thinking about the holidays, right? I gotta be flexible with that.
Yes. Yeah. I'll give it to you. Okay, I'll give it to you.
I'm like a life coach, so I have to live too. And you know how it's social time and all these Christmas parties and all these different things. And that's what my editor told me. She said, Nancy, the holidays are coming up. And I said, no, Mondays, I'll be Christmas shopping.
Right.
Be forgiving too. And have those goals, tackle your goals, and be flexible and get back right on them. That's, as a life coach, that's what I tell my clients all the time. Because you gotta live.
Definitely.
You gotta live. Okay, next slide.
That is key for reals. Okay.
Yeah. Ay, failure. I wrote a chapter on failure and the ego. It's part of when we were first on this earth. That fear was really prevalent in our lives because it protected us, and it's part of our ego to say, hey, you're gonna fail, you're gonna do this, you need to stay safe, you need to stay comfortable, you got. And the truth is that a lot of the time, this fear that we have of failing is bigger in our heads than in the real outside world. I mean, so Dominica is taking this leap of faith into this new venture, this new journey. And it was scary, right, Dominica? It was scary. I took the leap of faith too. I was an educator and I left the profession. I could have been an administrator, and it's scary. It's like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? And then isn't it funny, Dominica, how things kind of settle and it's not that bad. You're still alive and you're still standing.
Right.
And all of that you had in your head, it was so exaggerated. And remember, as someone who speaks about we are source energy, we attract a lot of those fears. So be really mindful what you're telling yourself, what you're thinking, and what you're speaking. It's an illusion. Fear, false evidence appearing real.
No,
and
that is so
true. And so when you have confidence and self-belief in yourself, there's nothing to fear. You overcome everything. And then I always tell my clients, you've done this before. If you've existed on this planet for more than 10 years, you've dealt with a lot of things where yes, you failed, or and nothing happens, you get right back on the horse and you continue to go, right? And isn't that
No,
the beautiful thing? So,
no, no,
you want to
most
add anything?
definitely. I have to say that to add to what you said is I definitely what was the game changer for me is when I started to really focus on my energy and the energy that was around me and even environmental energy, moving my space to, make sure that it is, more simplistic, if my desk, making sure that it's not cluttered and, make sure that I'm getting sun and adding things that will give me joy to keep me in a high vibration. And that alone is like a secret that we can talk about in this whole other series of workshops that we probably should do. But the minute that I really worked on that is the minute that I stepped into that space that was I'm not coming back from here. I am 100%. Actually, I was just giving a compliment. I think I told you, Dominica, you are ballsy and kind of reckless, but it was meant as a like, chingona, badass type of compliment. And
Mhm.
I was like, yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
I am. And you own it. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. Right? Isn't that beautiful?
Exactly.
Okay. The procrastinating. Oh my goodness. We need, if we want to become confident, we need to stop procrastinating. And the reason we procrastinate is because there could be an imposter syndrome, right? We need to be perfect. So currently I'm working with this gentleman, and he's having me do some videos for my social media. I'm going to be doing this mother program online. And what is funny is that I want everything to be perfect. And in wanting everything to be perfect, I procrastinate because it has to be perfect. And this is not the right time. And you know what he told me? He said, done is better than perfect. Because I told
Right.
him, I don't know. I've been really thinking about what I want to say on my video and this and that. And it's just me procrastinating. So in order for me to develop more confidence, I need to just get it done. Once I get it done, it feels so great, and I feel great about myself. I have this perfection syndrome, and it has to do with I just I'm still working on feeling like, okay, it has to be this way or it ain't, or it's not going to happen. It gets better with time. Your
Right.
first, I mean, podcast is not going to be perfect. Your first video is not going to be perfect. Your first encounter in a talk or whatever you want to do. I'm just thinking about the things that I know I procrastinated on, and that takes away your confidence. So, ladies, please stop procrastinating. It's better to be done than perfect. Oh my goodness. The people pleasing. It's not about do they like me? Do they like me? Is about do I want to be part of that group? Do I like them? It's confidence. It's not about asking yourself, oh, I hope they like me. Confidence is if they like me, great. And if they don't, that is okay too. Whatever. And it just shows, the women that I know who are very confident, they're not there to please anyone. They're not there for anyone's entertainment.
Right.
They're there to maybe add to the space, but if you like them or not, that's not their problem. And understanding that and stop pleasing people, um, we have to remember that we have to also set boundaries that are going to be beneficial to who you want to become, and to developing your confidence, because a lot of the time we're such givers, and women in general, we're just givers, and we just want to be liked. I wrote in my second book in a chapter that women and Latina women, we're told to say yes. We're told that we have to always agree, and we got to be kind. And there's nothing wrong with saying yes when it's a definite yes. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with kindness when it's coming with a true heart and intention. If you're feeling like someone is not respecting, you need to set boundaries. So, ladies, please stop people pleasing and say no. Stop the negative self talk. It's all about what you're telling yourself. I have clients where I can be telling them how awesome they are and this and that, but it doesn't matter, because once we're done with our session, it's all about what they say to themselves. And being able to, this is another workshop by itself, because there's so many things that we can talk about how to stop that negative self-talk, that obviously you, Dominica and I will go in more depth on these topics, because there's so much that we can definitely learn from. Well, how do you stop negative talk? And I have a couple of activities that I do, and so in a future workshop, this is definitely something we can talk and expand more about, Dominica.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think that when it comes to negative self-talk, it really is a critical factor to get to that space of just being, the grandest, ultimate, better version of yourself. So that definitely is a future workshop.
Yeah, for sure. So go ahead. You can read the following. You want me to do it?
No, most definitely. Yes. We are wrapping up. We thank all of you for staying with us up to this point. And definitely, we want you to connect with us because there is so much more that we're going to dive into. And we are definitely excited to continue and really bring to the community some really amazing opportunities to connect, to collaborate, and just share this message that in community there's unity. And so, as we are wrapping up, and definitely we will share this replay for everyone to, go back and visit if you missed most of it, or if you just hopped on and joined us. Um, but we definitely want all of you to connect with us. So for Nancy, you can definitely just point your phone right now to the QR code and directly connect with her on her Instagram page. But that is where you can follow her at her website, or if you want to send her an email. But this is how you can thank us right now for just joining us, and drop us a comment. Tell us what you loved about what you heard this evening. And then definitely for me, connect with me through my community, Chicana Inc. on Instagram. Again, if you get your phone right now and point it to the QR code, it'll be an instant follow if you're not already connected with me. But definitely, we wanted to, just have this be the beginning of what magic we are going to create together and just bring to this community. And we wanted all of you to be a part of it. Nancy, I know you have some stuff upcoming. Do you want to go ahead and share it?
Yes. Well, I'm excited to just share that I will be I will be having a mother program. Those women who are trying to empower their daughters to really believe in themselves, and I'll let you know. I'll post it on my social media so that if you want to be part of that, I'll put that out there. And I'm just super excited, Dominica, about us doing this together, because we have big plans for the different topics that we want to talk about. And and I think it's going to be so powerful that we get to be with these amazing women who just have forgotten who they are, but we're here to remind them that they are powerful beyond belief and they're capable of accomplishing any dream. So thank you so much, amiga. Thank you for, putting this together and letting me be part of this.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for joining me. And I'm excited because there's going to be multiple ways. If you're listening to the replay or if you're on live, we have a series of upcoming workshops. Many of you know that I have launched a speaker series that's been out there for the last couple of years. So we're going to reactivate that. And then most importantly, we're coming together to create a space for leaders, aspiring leaders, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, or someone that just wants to be in a space of the high vision, high thinkers, and be inspired. And so we'll be launching a series of those, just a Luchadora Collective. Luchadora Collective is what we're launching. And definitely we're inviting all of you to step into that space with us where we're building community and really just creating something special. That definitely a long-term goal, as we're talking about goals, is to take the show on the road and travel with it and really go to different cities and build that. And again, we have some amazing stuff coming down the pipeline. We will not give you all of our secrets because you have to come to our in-person events and workshops. We will be having some paid workshops, but it will be because we really want you to invest in yourself, in your company. And we all know that when that happens, that you really are able to take that in and really work on it. And so sometimes we don't appreciate the free stuff, right? So this is just a little teaser to have all of you know what we're working on, and hopefully you took away some gems today. And again, connect with both of us and drop us, a comment and let us know what you loved about this workshop.
Awesome.
Amiga, yes, thank you. We are winding down, and we will see all of you at our next event. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.